the kiss of God, the dweller on the threshold, plus Ada Lovelace's pioneer insight, unveiling the power of algorithms in the analytical engine. Note, I had written an article around September 7th. It was ready to be published, but my mother was agonizing that week. So I paused and decided to publish it this week as it was originally written, adding a few things, taking some others out. Integrating the sudden death of my father at 8 years old left a deep imprint. Witnessing the passing of my mother a fortnight ago is a slow process, and creativity is my vehicle, though time will tell. For now, I feel strong, and her presence fills my heart with joy, not sadness. I feel her closely and deeply. She did not suffer, nor I am suffering either. Mom left in the presence of the children she was devoted to. I had written about the upcoming breakthrough of the Jupiter and Uranus synod conjunction at 21 degrees of Taurus next spring, disrupting the status quo, resources, and potential transcendental growth. I will publish it in a few days, plus the upcoming eclipse season. Happy equinox! In the meantime, James Blake dropped a superb album, and I was only able to dive into it this weekend. I am savoring his unique and profound sound. I feel the low beats support my free spirit rising into the heavens, a direct, boundless connection where I can feel my mother's eternal love. Below is the soundtrack to this post. Now that I put 1 and 2 together, it is the perfect background to talk about transcendence and machines from other dimensions of time and angels all together. Happy birthday to 2 outstanding musicians, James Blake and Nick Cave. Enjoy. Monica, September 24th, 2013. Liminal states. It could be a place, a state of being, a physical reality, a bridging agent, a transcendent motion, whatever you're emerging, wherever you're stepping into, moving forward, embodying, whatever you have left behind will always be with you. Like the nodal axis, it carries the information at a cellular level. It has been slowly amalgamating, integrating in a state of becoming. Looking back to move ahead while assimilating. Let's take a closer look at the last 4.5 years, starting when the north node of the moon entered the sign of Cancer in November 2018. For a span of 18.6 months, it compelled humanity to become more aware of our emotional safety. By the end of that cycle, it had kept the entire population grounded at home. Then, in May 2020, it moved into the sign of Gemini, opening up the possibility for curiosity to guide our daily activities. Fast forward to January 22, when it entered Taurus, the focus shifted to our essential needs and values concerning safety and security. From mid-July 2023 until January 2025, our focus will shift towards our individuality. We'll notice how having leverage in relationships grants us the freedom to be ourselves and express our uniqueness with courage. Throughout this entire cycle, we've also left behind corrupted, crooked pillars that held ideologies no longer wholesome. This created a meaning crisis, leading to questioning and confronting addictive behaviors that stem from traumatic imprints. Now, until January 2025, when the nodal axis crosses the 29th degree of Pisces, we have the capability to form meaningful relationships with things, situations, or people that resonate with our own sovereign values. In February 2026, Saturn and Neptune converge at 0 degrees Aries, heralding a complete dissolution of what we consider reality. The last time they met was 36 years prior in Capricorn, in 1989. During that conjunction, the Soviet Union and parts of Europe witnessed the dissolution of structures that had been implemented and modified since 1953 with the death of Stalin. They met in the sign of Libra. Prior to that, in the sign of Leo, November 1917, Lenin implemented a totalitarian regime where ideologies deprived citizens of their basic civil rights and property. In a very chilling fashion, we are currently witnessing similar behavior in the European Union and parts of the USA. In 1953, this ideology spread to China, resulting in the destruction of individualism under the guise of a cultural revolution. The 0-degree mark in Aries in 2026 signifies a significant shift in energy, ushering a new beginnings. The question arises, will humanity be able to reconnect with its own true essence, or has the programming been so deeply ingrained that we are unable to detect and break away from it? Many people will be disillusioned, while others will initiate new structures centered around individual accountability. Quote, the North Node, I repeat, is the point of intake. The South Node is the point of release or evacuation. In animal organisms, the biological functions can be shown to operate alongside of an alimentary tube. Food is absorbed at one end and waste products are excreted at the other end, north and south. The French composer Saint-Saëns was fond of saying, I compose just like an apple tree produces apples. The true creative artist releases almost automatically art products that his psycho-mental organism produces spontaneously and of which, in a sense, has to get rid of. He acts in relationship to his culture or to a special group of individuals constituting his potential public, as a male fecundating a female. In peaceful times in an open society, this creative fecundation should be harmonious and fulfilling without frustration or undue excitement. It should be performed as a ritual. From the preceding, it should be clear that the node's meaning can be applied at all levels of human life. The North Node refers to whatever builds the personality, bringing to it a new material. This material should not only be absorbed but metabolized. And this refers to reading books and absorbing new ideas as well as to intake of anything that can become assimilated by the consciousness of the individual person. The South Node refers to any material whatsoever, physical, emotional, psychic, mental, that the organism no longer needs, whether it be that the substance cannot be used and is in a decaying or poisonous condition, or that it is the positive and creative expression of the natural function of the body-mind organism. Dane Rudyard. 2018 and 19 feels like another lifetime. Do you relate to that way of life at all now? What goodies are inside your bag now? These goodies aren't material. Let's consider them badges of honor, equivalent to what you individually learn. And guess what? These skills and knowledge can be incredibly useful in the near future. These assets, psychologically speaking, reflect our new imprint, which is in line with the times as we process the revolutions. We're always in a state of transition and are now on the verge of entering the final segment of the term led by individuation, rapidly approaching January 2025. This marks a full 120 degrees journey during which the nodes will introduce a different perspective that will contribute to the dissolution of what we once knew as reality. Each individual must become sovereign, equipped with a range of survival skills, including herbal medicine and other healing modalities such as sound therapy, enhanced athletic abilities, as well as an understanding of new economic trading capabilities and digital currencies like Bitcoin. People will organize themselves in resonance without claiming victimhood or sailing on Dante's weeping boat. What skills have you acquired since then? Have you questioned and possibly changed your perspective on any philosophies or ideologies? How has your relationship with resources, energy, and what we call economic values evolved? To what extent have you taken responsibility for your decision making based on your own needs? Do you trust your own authority, or are you still following the herd? Well, you wouldn't have come this far reading, to be honest, if that were the case. To paraphrase Saifedean Ammous in his latest book, Principle of Economics, in the chapter of human action, if we think of economics as the study of how people act, then economic terms make the most sense when we relate them to human needs and how people go about satisfying them. When we discuss economic theory, it is essential boils down to a few key things: understanding the meaning of actions, describing situations in terms of how people act, and determining the logical outcomes of these actions. In a nutshell, it's all about how people do things, why they do them, and what happens next. Understanding. Quote, all thoughts, feelings, and acts are recorded everywhere within the body of the universe. Richard Rudd. The kiss of God is abundance in all forms. Transfiguration. Seeing the future while being physically confined, my dreams portray a vivid image. A blue silhouette of what appears to be two lovers gently touching their lips, merging the material and spiritual realms into one expansive yet contracting union. A few weeks later, I will witness my mother's final breaths. Within the dream, I hear a whispered message. When one unites imagination with the consciousness of the divine, fear dissipates and trust in the sustaining power of breath takes hold. My mother is currently in the midst of her last slow breaths. At any moment, she will exhale one last time, embracing the kiss of the divine, transcending her spirit, and departing the humble abode that has served her well for 3 Saturnian cycles. Every second, a mix of emotions wells up within me. There's the joy of having emerged from her, of witnessing her relentless courage, sociable nature, and quick wit even now, over 44 days after her stroke. She commands her will, demonstrating both the purifying force and the strength that we all need to be reminded of constantly. We're brimming with life force, and as long as we draw breath, we possess the will to persevere. Thank you, Mother. I sense your presence closer than ever, forever, my angel, devoted and filled with joy. Angels and archangels are not personified beings, rather, they are collective energies vibrating at vastly different higher frequencies. Through dreams, song, and emotion, we can attune ourselves to these dimensions. Each time we overcome physical limitations, we ascend to a higher realm. In recent weeks, my artistic endeavors have flourished. The Venus retrograde, coupled with the apparent celestial standstill of other planets, have granted me the space for exploration and experimentation. A few weeks ago, during another dream, my mother imparted a poignant message. In times of fear, maintain your curiosity. September 7th, 2023. On September 10th, one day before she passed away, Mom appeared to me in a dream. Jumping on a trampoline, she conveyed a message. I may live in joy by being attentive, and when I fall, I pick myself up and keep joyfully sprinting to reach my highest potential. Mom gave me life and supported my artistic endeavors. She paved the way by embracing my independent ways. I can't help but smile. Mommy, you're forever mischievous, and I love you for always abiding by your wisdom. I now understand the depth of my love for her, free from attachment and filled with recognition. We share a knowing look and smile mischievously, as there was always a tacit, silent fellowship between us. Love is eternal. On the day of my mom's passing, the gates were at 47 line 2 for the sun and 22 line 2 for the earth. It's very interesting to read about these two gates. The 47th gate. At a cosmic level, transfiguration is eternal journey. Our entire planet, including humanity, all living beings, and the earth herself, will eventually undergo this transformative process. Social transfiguration must encompass the entirety of the planetary organism because, from a larger perspective, we are the Earth's consciousness and perception, connected rather than separate. A moment will arrive when all the elemental components of our planet resonate at such a heightened frequency that our familiar world will transition into a radiant field of vibrating light. 22nd gate of grace through suffering has a strong link to the law of the divine memory. Think of it as a colossal antenna, constantly picking up frequencies, sounds, and vibrations from its surrounding. It doesn't miss a thing. Imagine it is a vast cosmic Aeolian wind harp, where the quality of reception depends on how finely tuned the strings are. In the context of the 22nd shadow, the strings of your DNA are twisted out of alignment, resulting in a distortion in your behavior and your overall life experience. Quote, I believe myself to possess a most singular combination of qualities exactly fitted to make me preeminently a discoverer of hidden realities of nature. Ada Lovelace in a letter to her mother, February 6, 1841. From an angelic dimension, Ada Lovelace pioneer insight, unveiling the power of algorithms in Charles Babbage analytical engine. Continuing with my exploration of artificial intelligence, let's delve into the analytical engine, a creation of Charles Babbage and Ada Lovelace, pioneer insights, unveiling the power of algorithms in the analytical engine. They both collectively played a pivotal role in shaping the foundation of modern computers. The analytical engine, which was like a futuristic calculator on steroids, offered a glimpse into a machine that not only performed mathematical calculations but also possessed the ability to analyze and process complex data, much like a genius brain encased within a mechanical body. Babbage and Lovelace's visionary work established the bedrock principles of computing and programming, concepts that find direct relevance in the realm of AI language systems with their reliance on algorithms, automated processing, and precise computations for understanding and generating human language. This all happened around 1841. Lovelace, ahead of her time, saw beyond the analytical engine's immediate mathematical applications, envisioning a future where it could be programmed to perform a myriad of tasks far beyond mathematics. She basically laid the foundation for what we now call computer programming, also known as software. As a computer visionary, she understood that this machine or hardware could be programmed using a series of instructions, or what we now call algorithms, to perform all kinds of tasks, writing the first ever algorithm for the machine, which was mind-blowing considering computers as we know them didn't even exist back then. These foundational ideas are directly relevant to the design and operation of the AI language systems, which rely on algorithms, automated processing, and precise computations to understand and generate human language. The legacy as a computational visionary continues to shape the world of AI and technology. Quote, the analytical engine might act upon other things besides number, where objects found those mutual fundamental relations could be expressed by those of the abstract science of operations, and which should be also susceptible of adaptations to the action of the operating notation and mechanism of the engine. Supposing, for instance, that the fundamental relations of pitch sounds in the science of harmony and of musical composition were susceptible of such expression and adaptations, the engine might compose elaborate and scientific pieces of music of any degree of complexity or extent. These are notes from Ada Lovelace. In the 1940s, a time when the concept of computer was in its infancy, Lovelace, while translating Babbage's work, penned notes that serve as a window into the future. She envisioned computers as more than mere mathematical tools. Her insights suggested the potential in generating art, music, and symbol comprehension. Remarkably, her writings hinted at the notion of artificial intelligence long before the term was coined. Furthermore, Lovelace emphasized the significance of those who wielded the keyboard, recognizing their control over the computer's actions. Her pioneer spirit and visionary outlook are undeniable, evident in her work. Quote, the analytical engine has no pretensions whatsoever to originate anything. It can do whatever we know how to order it to perform. It can follow analysis, but it has no power of anticipating any relations or truths. Its province is to assist us in making available what we are already acquainted with. Ada Lovelace, other notations. In essence, Lovelace postulated that AI lacks the capacity to generate truly original content independently. It relies on learning from human input. This assertion remains valid in our current landscape where AI has become increasingly ubiquitous. AI algorithms, including ChatGPT, still rely on human-generated content typically sourced from the internet to formulate responses and create various forms of content. While AI language systems may give the illusion of independent thought, they are essentially echoing and reiterating human-generated content from the vast expanse of the internet. Babbage faced significant challenges in securing funding and resources for building the analytical engine, which remained a conceptual masterpiece and was never constructed during his and Lovelace's lifetimes. The machine's complexity posed formidable technical obstacles beyond the technological capabilities of their era, compounded by limited engineering and manufacture techniques that hindered prototype development. Additionally, the heavy reliance of mechanical components introduced the risk of errors and reliability issues. Lovelace's pioneering algorithmic contributions, while groundbreaking, remained largely theoretical due to the absence of physical machine for practical testing and refinement. Metaphorically speaking, Lovelace and Babbage can be regarded as trailblazers of the computer age. This symbolic connection to the angelic realm alludes to their roles as conveyors of knowledge and technological progress. Angels are traditionally associated with wisdom and enlightenment, and in this context, their contributions to mathematics and computing symbolize a form of intellectual enlightenment, ushering in a fresh era of comprehension and problem solving via machinery. Their avant garde concepts mark earlier stages of the digital revolution, serving as inspirational figures who, akin to angels, ignite inspiration through their groundbreaking endeavors. They exemplify how human intelligence and creativity can lead to transformative breakthroughs. Where does genius originate? Does it reside within the demon or el duende? Dwelling in otherly realms, can one access this state of timeless, spaceless consciousness to manifest ideas? I believe so. What do you sense? Genius and creativity may stem from diverse sources, including spiritual states beyond time and space, complex brain processes studied in neuroscience, and nurturing through environmental factors and diverse experiences in psychology. The search for the origins of genius persists, pursued through spiritual, artistic, and scientific means, creating a deeply personal and subjective journey for each individual. In my perspective, this insight serves as a crucial differentiator. The understanding whether AI will take over humanity, while remarkable in its capabilities, operates fundamentally as a software, while humanity transcends mere hardware. Human mechanics are extremely complex, encompassing emotions, abstract thinking, and ethical considerations. As we delve deeper into this intricate relationship from various angles, it becomes evident that the potential of AI to replicate the full spectrum of human consciousness and creativity remains a profound challenge. This ongoing exploration illuminates the distinct realms of AI and human potential, reminding us of the unique qualities that define our humanity. Human beings are, in fact, a rolling wave of consciousness with no fixed identity. We are programmed to continually hit the shores of our limitations and dissolve into something else. Jinkies, Richard Rudd. Purification. New moon in Virgo on September 14, 2023. To carry on, or even if one cannot recognize the meaning of life. Mom endured for 47 days the entire Venus retrograde cycle plus a few days, with no possibility of digesting any food after the massive stroke she suffered. She received nutrition through her veins. During this period, I witnessed a profound journey of purification, a preparation for her transcendence. We connected through sound. To simplify, imagine our world as a complex tapestry with chaotic patterns that only fractal geometry, a fascinating mathematical concept, can unravel. Fractal geometry helps us comprehend seemingly random events and reveals that each of us carries humanity's entire journey within us, like an inner library shaping our thoughts and actions. When you delve into your unconscious mind, it is akin to diving into this shared human library, a voyage into our collective subconscious. However, it can be overwhelming if you are unprepared. This is where archetypes come into play. They serve as universal symbols, like inner compasses, guiding you through your inner world. In essence, it's about embracing the entirety of your being, including the shadow aspects for genuine self-discovery and personal growth. My mother showed me what surrender looks like. Her body was purified as she approached the Bardo period, the threshold that dissolves matter into spirit. I witnessed her serenity, and I assimilated it by mirroring it. Thank you, Mommy. Full moon in Aries, September 29th, 2023. The upcoming full moon on September 29th brings a series of squares, trines, and various quincunx, involving Mars, the nodes, Pluto, and many more planets setting the stage for the approaching eclipses. With Mars in Libra next to the South Node and in opposition to Chiron, there's a strong push to seek balance and cultivate a fresh perspective on relationships while leaving behind and transforming old and corrupted ways. It prompts us to question why we're still holding on to certain things. The North Node, ruled by Mars, eagerly seeks opportunities to embrace courage through vulnerability, encouraging us to forgive, dissolve, and explore new relationships and territories. This journey can be a source of creative inspiration, emphasizing the importance of discernment in solidifying resources and ideas. Surrender, be born again. The Sun and Moon at gate 17 and 18. We encountered two pivotal facets of the human mind, opinion and judgment. These traits, rooted in the logical left hemisphere of our brains, grant us the unique ability to form opinions based on logical judgment. Interesting, at the highest frequencies, these attributes are destined to propel humanity towards its ultimate evolutionary stage. A possibility to perceive the perfection and interconnectedness with all existence, enabling us to bring this vision into full manifestation. In the realm of our darker tendencies, opinion and judgment often take a divisive turn, zooming in on specific parts rather than seeing the big picture. Achieving an all-encompassing view like omniscience only happens when we're at the peak of self-awareness. It is kind of ironic that these shadowy characteristics hide some potential for greatness. Judgment, for instance, comes from a sense of not being satisfied, which can be traced back to our early years when we were soaking up knowledge and forming opinions. Healthy expression of our opinions is like a well-balanced seesaw. One side is our left brain, focusing on details, while the other side is our own right brain, which looks at the whole picture. If we get too attached to our opinions, we might become overly defensive or even escalate things to a more serious level. But at the higher expression, our opinions morph into something more far-sighted, letting us see both sides of the coin at once. This balanced perspective prevents us from getting stuck on one single point, and it ultimately nurtures our integrity. This is an edit version of what I read during the funeral of my mother. Dear Mom, I like to play with words as I spend a lot of time looking for the etymology and origin of them. Perhaps because each word carries within itself a frequency that connects us to an emotion. Maybe this emotion was planted when I was in your womb and was as big as a pea, and the first sense I developed, like all other humans, was the sense of sound. You were a music lover, just like my dad. The practice of listening to music and going to concerts frequently was a seed that you planted, and it grew enormously. My life today without music does not exist. Not only music, but the rest of the 7 arts, such as harmonics, which gives us the exact proportions to understand the nature of reality. But today I'm not going to talk about Pythagoras, but about you, beautiful mommy. In Italian and Latin also, the word sentire means both feeling and hearing. When I was born, I heard you and felt through your voice how we connected. The last few days I was with you, Mom. We united through the sound using high frequency tuning forks. You had your favorite classical music all the time. Mom, do you remember that you used to wake me up at 5:30 a.m. when I was little to study piano? You projected in each one of us a potential that you would like have wanted to fully investigate, but because of your devotion and at the same time responsibility towards us and towards education, instead you decided to support us. Daring, bold, courageous, intelligent, fun, mischievous, practical, musical, critical, witty, intelligent, sovereign, inspiring, curious, fast, meticulous, elegant, intuitive, insightful, visionary. Who would think of hiring an American nun so that we could practice English? Only you. To buy a fleet of vans to transport children? Only you. Thus, you created trends that they were replicated by others because you were unique in your ideas. You revolutionized not only education aspects, but were also a pedagogical pioneer. Maybe we know that you expanded our goal from Grandma Maria, your mom, who you loved very much. The word I want to choose at this moment to define you is devotion. You were devoted to preschool education. You were devoted to knowing how to live and enjoy. And above all, you were devoted to your four chicks. Of course, this is my perspective. The daughter who wanted to run away from you during my rebel teenage years, knowing that she was her mother's daughter and had characteristics with which she identifies, such as curiosity, loving other cultures, and traveling, knowing how to laugh and dance. I aspire to your wisdom, your kindness, and generosity. My siblings, each one unique and with strong temperaments like yours, you loved us and let us be as we are. You know, Mom, the words I use every day, which are a legacy of yours. Enjoy, my daughter. And happiness depends on you. Mom, you were never a victim, nor did you envy anyone's destiny. We never saw you lazy. The best rest is a change of activity, you will say. Although I must confess that I like naps now and I find them to be perfect activities to recharge energy. You were so authentic that you knew how to make the best of your destiny. You were guided by your own authority and without fear of making mistakes because you knew that your intuition and intelligence will take you to places completely unexplored. This is how people who break ground and are at the forefront are defined. If losing my dad so young marked us infinitely, for 50 years, your devotion until your last breath was about taking care of us and knowing we were good. Very perceptive and intuitive, your genius was beyond the formalities of academia. Your practices were empirical and you knew how to manifest your desires. You never needed anyone's approval because being unique requires you to be beyond the norm. Courage was another of your great virtues. I remember many times hearing you say, close your eyes, imagine it, and feel it. I would not be an artist, nor I would have the free and special life that I have if it were not for your spirit, because you always supported my craziness. There was only one condition. I would have to bring you a proposal of what I wanted to study to receive your support. The key word was always education. As for Gladys, the public persona and creator of the school, I can only say that it was your destiny to open territory. It was your destiny to be fearless. It was your destiny to be this entrepreneurial. Things weren't happening to you, Mom. You manifested them without permission and with the sovereignty, responsibility, and mischief we know you combined well because you were a very special being. Mom, you were very funny, and everyone in the close family used humor as a collagen agent of connection. It is perhaps the way we feel most safe. So if you see us dying of laughter, it is because we are calmly resonating with your frequency, Mom. I have 1,000 stories, but I'm going to leave it here. The sense of hearing is the last one to go before dying. Mom, you listened to us attentively and consciously in the last days. Up until the last second, although you couldn't respond with words, we felt you. You have no idea how special it has been for us to be born through you and now have your spirit present at all times. I love you, beautiful mom. You're my little angel, and I will keep you busy like I do with my dad, my heavenly assistants. Monica, Bogota, September 14, 11:50 a.m. There's some footnotes coming to talk about the North Node, then transits, and then some. I'm not going to read any of those. You can read it locally with the app. You have a great week. I'm a little bit tired. It's been a while that I don't record, so I may sound a little bit funky, but just wanted to put up this this article. Have a great full moon. Take care.